got only 2 rounds left until the end of the Fuel Mission 22 Cup Series, and before we head to Vegas for the finale, we're going to make a stop at Phoenix, Arizona at ISM Raceway to start the second and last round of the championship. It should be pretty intense tonight, not necessarily for the championship, I think more for the race, due to reasons I'll explain in a bit. But Connor, I think we're in for an interesting race tonight, especially with the new tire model.
It might be really crazy on his restarts if you go in a little bit too far, and it's not really a race with a lot of pressure for really anyone. It's really just a tune-up for Las Vegas, which is going to be crazy to watch another finale at Vegas. But you see these top four drivers who are pretty much all but locked in, including Alec Martinez and the other three. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do. A bit of a tune-up for Vegas, as I said, and whoever comes out on top is going to have the momentum going in.
Yeah, indeed. There you see on the right side of your screen of the Fuel Finals drivers listed there. Debaro, Martinez locked in. Jeff Ward and Bressi still able to be eliminated, but Nick Kohan is not here tonight, and Hayden Pastorius is a little bit too far back, 103 points. He's still mathematically possible, I believe, for him to make it in. However, very unlikely considering you get 100 points for the race win, not including bonus points. But until looking at it that way, I think it's going to be really tough for him to get in. So more or less, we're going to be looking at Debaro, Martinez, Ward, and Bressi making it on through.
Yeah, it's going to be. They might be racing those four, or I say those three, because I don't even see Alec Martinez in here right now. Those ones that are in here for the second to last race tonight are probably going to be really racing each other hard if they see each other on a track, so they can get an edge on one another. So it might be interesting to see how they race each other this week.
Yeah, and I think really this round's going to be useful for some of these guys getting used to this new tire model. They're looking at some guys go on the track. There you see Jeff Ward coming around the track, mostly in shadow, as we're we're definitely going to go in tonight. Still a little bit of sun bathing down. Jeff Ward comes across the line. He's going to come across in second place. Looking at Casey Lakatos now. He's on his lap.
Yeah, Lakatos he's probably still disappointed about what happened at Indy, but all you can do is put on a happy face, and you just gotta go for it. He's still really fast. I feel like he's just one of those guys. If he gets one win, and then maybe even a second win, he's gonna be rolling at some point, no matter what league.
Yeah, I honestly think he's one of those drivers that's kind of benefited from this tire model. He did fairly well at the Pocono race on Saturday, as actually I think the track just shifted over into night as the shadows have gone away. Some of them have. But yeah, he did fairly well at Pocono. Obviously, a completely different track to this. But I think, it's some merit. He comes across the line, not the best qualifying lap, going to be in 10th. But still, I think might have some pace. Matt Hollabaw's on the track. Hayden Pastorius, trying to race his way in, but looking pretty much not like it's going to be the case. Also, Thomas Bressi in the 24, finally getting a win at Watkins Glen. We'll see where he's going to end up as he comes across the line. Just going to start a lap.
Doesn't matter what scheme you have, the 24 always looks clean.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got a mishmash. He's got 3 different...
every generation. Pretty much every generation. Maybe every decade's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
So right there, taking 3 and 4. Didn't really use the apron there. Personally, I would use my left side tires on that apron in 3 and 4 a little bit. I feel like it gives you a little bit of extra grip, but who knows, new tire model might be different. I haven't ran it yet at ISM with the new tire model, so who knows what's different. Oh, I don't think the tire model helped him there.
I think he's just going around for a loop, just pushing the tires. He qualified in 3rd after putting the lap before in, so he's all good. Derek Castor out there now putting a lap as qualifying is almost complete here in a few seconds.
Let's see, Castor's on track. Bressi finishes his lap. It obviously didn't count. A couple people just sitting at the end of a pit lane. And pretty much Castor's probably going to be the last one to put a time down. He's coming around through 3 and 4 here. And looks like he's not even going to bother. He's going to shut it down.
Guess not going to bother putting a time down, so he's going to be starting towards the back. And no one else is on the track, so I think that's going to pretty much end qualifying here for us a little bit prematurely. But you can see there, Debaro, Ward, Bressi, your top 3. All 3 of our 4 championship 4. Obviously, Alec Martinez decided to show up. Gonna have to ask him why. I don't know what else he's doing.
I think I have 2 words for it. I feel like I have 2. It's probably got something to do with something that rhymes with Schmerl Bush. That's gonna be my
Yeah,
guess. It could be a
honestly,
number of things.
yeah,
That
that's a
being said,
pretty solid guess.
he's been running a fixed all week at Chicago. Like that's any better, but that's just my opinion.
I guess for being at Chicago would be better for Vegas, and I guess that's really on his mind. Granted, he's qualified for Vegas, so didn't have to race tonight. But I mean, it's nice to show up. But I guess in his case, he doesn't want to show up, so he will not be with us tonight. However, we do have 20 other cars ready to go racing. Here is the pace cars lineup on pit row. We'll go through your starting lineup. We got Anthony Debaro, who'll be starting on pole. No surprises there. Has been one of the fastest guys all season, arguably the championship favorite going to next week. Starting outside of him in second, Jeff Ward in the 89.
Yeah, Debaro in qualifying at least a full 10th ahead of the closest competition with Ward at a 6.53. So they might be once again chasing Debaro for the win tonight. He's got Bressi, Thompson, and Brian Chambliss, another fan favorite, rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, and looking after your top 5, just letting it scroll across the bottom here. Any particular favorites? I'm going to say other than Anthony Debaro. Any favorites that you got for potentially winning this race?
I could see Thomas Bressi going all in, trying to show something, saying he can win somewhere other than a road course. I think he could have a great chance of going back to back, I believe.
Yeah, and it would be really great for him to go back to back. He's given him a lot. The win last week has given him a lot of momentum. Finally getting it in. We were all excited for him. Finally getting it done. A lot of the guys in the league too. Again, one of the pretty much a guy that should have had a win long before now, but again, finally got it in. So he's looking good for the playoffs against these other guys. But I think really the big threat is going to be playing that 27. This new tire model might throw things out of whack. It might change up the order just a little bit as far as the race is concerned.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with new tire model. It doesn't look like, so far at least, that Debaro's phased one bit, but I can see Thomas Bressi really trying to give him a good run for his money here. But it's going to be all about these restarts on the cold tires and everything, how passes are going to be made. If it's any different from what it was with the outside lane being dominant most of the race, we'll see if anything changes.
We'll see if anything changes here as everyone's getting lined up on the track, ready to go here. We got 156 laps on the clock for tonight. It should be a little bit over an hour. We'll see how these guys are going to take this new track. How's it going to play out? How's this new tire model going to play out, especially over the long run? Will we see comers? Will we see goers? More importantly, will we see passing? Because we haven't seen a lot of it on this package.
Indeed, I'm looking at you.
Green flag back in the air, or in the air finally here for the second to last round of the season at ISM.
Ladies and gentlemen, Finney's already messed up. We're not even a lap in. I didn't expect that. There's Debaro. He had a great jump there. And Bressi with a great jump as well. Trying to go and challenge Debaro. He's up for P2 clear already of Jeff Ward. Thompson in fourth. Chambliss rounds off the top 5 for now. Oh, and the yellow's already out as I saw a check up there.
It's Travis McQuestion down and around on the inside. We'll take a look to see what happened to him.
I'm gonna guess that new tire model bit him.
Caught loose off of turn 2, which is really a funny thing because, you know, with the amount of downforce these cars have, you don't really see them getting loose a lot of times anymore. But drivers, I was talking with some drivers before the race began, they're saying, look, the tire's a little sketchy the first 2 laps, and halfway through the first lap, you see him just get loose. Around he goes, almost saves it, but then just clobbers the inside safer barrier.
Yeah, he had trouble as well as the 44 of Tyler Hensley had trouble at some point. I don't know what happened to him, but for what showed it from my point of view, he blinked out for a while and he came back with heavy right front damage. He's already in the pit.
Yeah, indeed, not sure what happened to him. So I didn't see anything happen to him. He could have been involved in that. Actually, let me, since we're under caution, real quick.
Maybe on his screen he was involved, but I didn't see it. He blinked out for me.
Yeah, it's not showing anything either. So I don't know. It could be one of those things where. No, I was gonna
Wrecked
say
on his own maybe as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could have been on his screen, or it could be we just seeing that he has a lot of damage, but he is down in the pits for quite a while. But it looks like repairing it, and he's already gonna start this race off a lap down.
You never want to start it like that. Unfortunate when that happens. Sometimes you just can't control how that works. But one thing I saw on that initial start, I know it can be crazy on these restarts, but right now that was a pretty simple restart. Debaro was able to go, and the outside lane second place Ward was going nowhere. Bressi easily got by him before they even got out of turn 1.
Yeah, he did made some quick work at that, but now we'll see since they're swapping back around. Will that change on this restart? If Ward can get the jump back on Bressi here when they line up, they should be lining up this time by nope, one more time around.
Boo-hoo, iRacing.
Yeah, and I wish you were able to control and just just go.
How many pace laps and everything? It would prevent like one pace lap. Andy Teleganov looking at you. Don't forget about Sonoma. I'm going all in tonight. Why not? I feel like I assume Ward gets back to him, but Bressi might be better at timing these restarts. We'll see what happens.
One guy I am looking at, 58 of Riley Thompson. Across the network, anything he's been in, he's been really consistent, especially in the both the Indy Elite Series and the Fuel IndyCar Series. He's done phenomenally well there. He's gotten 2 wins in the Fuel IndyCar Series, still looking for a win in Indy Elite, but has gotten pretty close on a few occasions. He's currently running up in 4th. We could see him have a pretty solid night, could battle up with these guys in the front, could get a win.
He's one of those guys in iRacing who can pretty much get into any car and he could be fast. Could be a Skip Barber, could be a Ford Mustang, it could be a Pontiac Solstice for all anyone else cares for. He's in a way he's ambidextrous when it comes to racing. He can pretty much put his hands on a racing wheel and he's going fast no matter what he puts him in. So he can win in all sorts of cars and track combinations, and this could be another one.
I want to know when was the last time someone drove the Pontiac Solstice on purpose for race. I feel like I have not heard that car mentioned or uttered in
I did get
so.
into a test in that on accident like 2 days ago. I was like, what's this? I don't even remember when I got it. I don't remember when I wanted it. I was trying to sell it back to iRacing.
Yeah, I was going to say completely overshadowed by the Mazda, but getting ready for the first restart tonight after a really quick caution after half a lap of racing. We'll see these guys pitching and sort out here if we go green all the way around once.
See what happens here once again. We'll see if Debaro can get another great jump and see if Bressi can hang on to it as well.
And immediately jumping on the gun, 27 is going to launch away, green flag in the air.
Yep, Debaro's cleaning away. Bressi's barely clear. He's obviously not going to risk it into turn 1 this early, but he is going to stay clear for second place. So maybe Jeff Ward just doesn't have it on these restarts, as now it's Debaro and Bressi away.
That's a really troublesome thing to be poor on these restarts. Track position is key here. You don't want to lose time or momentum when you're getting up to speed. Chambliss to the inside of Riley Thompson, trying to fight for that spot. Looks like Chambliss is going to be successful.
Got a bit loose there. He wasn't able to complete the pass. Here comes, I believe, Zach McCann behind him. See if Chambliss can complete the pass out of turns 1 and 2. Not really. Look, well, 58 didn't get a great exit. Looks like he won't be able to clear Riley Thompson there. Surprised about that.
Surprised about that indeed. They're trying to sort themselves out here. Meanwhile, the top 2 have driven away. Still fighting going on back here. Most of it's kind of single file out. Still Buchanan to the inside.
Riley Thompson, all of a sudden, the outside lane's not working. He's the odd man out on the outside lane. He can't get anything going up there. Now McCann's going to go by.
And he finally gets on by, single file out. And there you see in the background, Casey Lagadas moving himself up into 9th. Past Colin Fairbairn, now has got 8 Pastorius up ahead.
We almost got ran into by Fambro. There's a couple nose-to-tail battles going on. I'm pretty sure Pastorius just hit the back bumper of Mitch Welker, so that was interesting there. A little bit of roughing up early, and right now everyone's trying to single file themselves out, and I believe it is single file throughout the whole field, actually. Yes.
Oh, Riley Thompson to the wall in turn 2. He's shaking it, the wheel down the back straightaway. He's able to save it, but got a lot of right side damage. He's going to be side by side with Mitch Welker.
You can't make those mistakes early in a race. That's probably going to screw for the rest of the race, depending on how this race goes. I wouldn't say that's how you want to take the dog line, but as I'm looking at it, not the worst right front damage, so maybe it won't kill him, but definitely not going to help the situation.
Yeah, definitely that car's not going to be driving like it was before. It's really just a matter on how bad it is. Looks like he's alright for now. We're riding a little lead stories.
Pastorius was probably, everyone behind Riley Thompson was probably really scared about that, so I'm glad nothing happened there. Sorry, Riley Thompson got into the back of Welker there again. Everyone's getting in the back bumper of Mitch Welker, apparently.
Apparently, indeed. It doesn't look like that car has been dinged up. It's very light contact, if anything. At least on my screen.
It is light contact. They'll turn into heavier contact, though.
With all that happened, the top 5 is separated from the rest of the field. Buchanan's chasing down Chambliss and Jeff Lloyd, and up in the front, it's been Bressi and Debaro have completely separated away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised, but at the same time, I'm not really surprised that it's Bressi trying to chase down Debaro, and a little bit more pace from him. He's kind of running a bigger arc into at least turn 1 and 2 there, and he's getting a better exit. Debaro just can't keep it low on these exits. Bressi with the advantage here, I believe, right now. But it could be all just Debaro maybe saving his tires, but who knows?
Yeah, back in around 7th place, Riley Thompson's fallen back off and falling in behind Pastorius, and now here comes Casey Lacanis to his inside. He's starting to struggle.
I can see why people are bumping Mitch Welker, because he's leading the train of pretty much the whole pack behind him right now.
No one's really able to get by him at the moment.
Yeah, Pastorius is having a crack at him now. Looking inside, no room there. And
oh, he turns him!
And he saves it. Fambro into the back of him bad. They're all stacking up. I believe Sam Crow was involved as well. Matt Holliva in the 02 has a lot of damage in the rear end. A big stack up there caused.
Still green though, surprisingly.
3 wide.
Yeah, we'll go and quickly take a look back at what happened there.
What'd I say? Light contact turns into heavy contact?
Yeah, you definitely weren't kidding here. Going down into turn 3. See the 19 just clip the 76. He goes sideways. Then Colin Farmer gets a big piece of that, and then Matt Holliva into him. So Matt Holliva, I think, probably, or sorry, not Matt Holliva, Colin Farmer, I think, got the worst out of it. He's missing his nose.
Yeah, Fambro's missing his nose. That's kind of how his finals have gone for him. Just unfortunate circumstances that sometimes he had the stroke of luck at Indy.
Oh, and Fambro in the wall after making contact with Welker. He goes around and into the inside wall. I imagine he's going to be done.
He's probably not a happy camper right now after everything has happened. Now he has no front or rear end, as yeah, that car is pretty much totaled already. Mitch Welker's going to enter the pits. Maybe his night is done as well.
Yeah, we'll see. He had some decent contact with the 5. Never a good sign to be coming down into the pits under green. Meanwhile, just checking out with the rest of the field after all that happened. That spread out quite a few guys. Oh, I saw someone sitting in the back with Don Welker looking really good.
After all that, trying to get single file again.
Yeah, that's every a lot of guys around the midfield. Riley Thompson ahead of Hayden Pastorius now by 6 seconds. 6/10 of a second, and 3 seconds behind Zach Buchanan.
Yeah, because of that, yeah, as Mitch Welker's called it a night, already disconnected. It's that big stack up at a 4 there has completely separated the top 5 from everyone. Debaro, Bressi obviously separated from 3rd through 5th, but then Ward, Chambliss, and Zach Buchanan almost about 3 seconds ahead of 6th place Riley Thompson. So the top 5 going to leave their own because of it.
Yeah, looking at their last lap times, Ward looks like he's starting to reel Bressi back in. He's a little bit faster by about 200ths of a second, not a lot, but still reeling in, going in the right direction, not losing time. Yeah,
everything's still going well there. I'm pretty sure a couple of these drivers probably wanted a yellow to get new tires. They probably don't want to go full run on these tires. They don't want to risk blowing tires at all, but everything's pretty spread out right now, so it might get interesting.
Yeah, that's another big thing to mention too, is the fact that you can blow a tire now. I think new to a few of these drivers in this league, obviously the first time this series is running the new tire model, you can definitely blow a tire out. Didn't see anything happen in the Outsiders Racing League. I don't think we might see something tonight, but it's definitely a concern that's going to be in the back of your mind that you can't push these tires all the way to the end, because you can blow it out and then you're really going to be facing some problems.
And you can't really push the fuel window all the way as far as you can either, because with this new package, when it came out early last year, it pretty much, tires don't fall off as much, at least they weren't at the time being, not enough to pit for like an undercut. The undercut wasn't really working as well, so people just stretched the fuel all the way to the end. With this tire model, you really don't want to risk that with the chance of blowing a tire, spinning out, causing a yellow and all that. It's really not, there's no risk v reward there, it's just high risk and high screwing yourself, I suppose. It's really not a risk you want to take.
No, it isn't. Just kind of looking at the rest of the field. Most of the field spread out into about half a second gaps. Just kind of looking at the midfield, some of these drivers, although the main battle, I think, is more towards the front. Ward is definitely starting to make an indent now. He's catching up to Bressi. These top 5 closing back in on each other.
Yeah, it looks like the line is moving up. I saw everyone in the turn 3, at least the top 5, not really going to the yellow line, doing a little bit of a diamond outside in, inside out, so to move the groove. I believe about 20 laps in, already moving up.
Yeah, I haven't really seen a whole lot of guys go below the yellow line. I thought we might see some guys maybe try to play with it, more grip in these tires, I think, in comparison to the old tire model. But no one's really dared try it. Still running mostly the same line, mostly 3 and 4.
Yeah, really similar lines here. With how the push in the package still is, it's hard to be content with doing that, but sometimes if a line is there, you just gotta bite the bullet.
Matt Oliver back out on the track after coming to the pits to fix his car. Currently 3 laps down. Still sees quite a bit of damage to that car in the front and both the rear. Whoa, he goes way over the line. He's trying to let the leaders
That's
by.
not the line. It's definitely not the line, but props to trying it, although he wasn't.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to let the stop 5 on by. I think he's just trying to stay out of this battle.
100%, yeah.
Or it could be just trying a new line. I don't think it's working.
He gets rubber up there, you never know. I mean, the line's worked in real life, I'm pretty sure.
I have a whole lot going off after 2 incidents that probably should have caused a caution, didn't. Separate out people quite a bit. Kind of skimming down the order. Kohan is off to a pretty decent start today, currently running in 8th, trying to chase down Pastorius ahead of him.
The closest battles right now are for tail end of the lead lap, 15th, John Wilco, Calvin Kolarski, I believe, might be one of the closest battles.
Yeah, Wilco trying to chase down Steve Herring for 14th. After all that's happened, we only got 17 cars on the lead lap. Everyone else will round down. And only 19 cars running of the 22 that started this race.
Oh,
Calvin Kolarski off the wall on turn 4. He's going to spin, stop on the front straightaway. He can still get it going to not bring up the caution. Nope, no yellow.
He's just going to reset, no yellow.
Let's take a look at what happened there. The long incident.
Sounds like all of us called it night as well and all that.
And sideways off of turn 4, smacked the outside wall pretty hard, tried to keep it off the inside, and just came to a stop. I'm amazed that I believe it was Dakota GCenzo that came flying past him on the straightaway that didn't bring out the caution.
Yeah, that could have been way worse than it was.
Yeah, and here's another look off of turn 4, off the front straightaway. Just came to a stop.
Wonder if Bressi used up any sort of grip he had right now, because he's fallen about 1.3 seconds back from Anthony Debaro. He's been dropping at least the last lap, half a tenth a lap there, and Jeff Ward's a tenth faster than him and the leader, so Jeff Ward's closing.
Yeah, Ward's closing up quite a bit. These guys are currently running about almost a second off, running 8/10ths to a full second off of their fastest lap earlier in the race when they had fresh tires. So I think, yeah, you're right, Bressi used up too much of his stuff, especially too, you got to consider with these cars, you need to leave a little bit of a gap to make sure you're not in the air wash, otherwise you're going to be using up your tires a lot more, which will matter. And I think that's what happened to Bressi here, and now here comes Jeff Ward. Can he do anything?
You see, as he's gotten closer to Bressi, he's trying to run a different line. He's getting real loose, trying to put the throttle down out of 4. He's right as he got the Bressi, he's starting to try anything and everything to get air on the nose to try to get by him. That'll help Bressi up the track there. He's going to get a great drive out of 1 and 2. Ward is. He's going to be all over the back bumper here soon.
Yeah, he's just trying to make up as much time as possible, get out of the line, get out of the aero wash. You see him now really looking down low. Bressi, I'm not sure if he's just trying to take a different line, if he's struggling to get the car down on the yellow line.
I think he's just struggling to get the car to rotate. Like I said, he might have used that right front up a little bit too much, and that maybe he's got to try to cool it down a little bit, but he doesn't have time for it because Jeff Ward is right there. He drove it in hard there.
Yeah, drove it in really hard indeed, trying to make up some time through the corner.
Meanwhile, all this more they battle. Debaro loves it. I'm sure we've heard that before. Battle for a second, Debaro closing. Sorry, pulling away there. He's got opening up about a 2-second gap over Bressi and Ward.
Yeah, not many other battles going on. This is the closest battle on the racetrack and one of the most important here. But as these guys continue to fight, they're still losing time to Debaro. Now, Bressi looking at 2 seconds back from the lead.
Debaro with no interruptions. He's been running 4s, runs a 5 there, but let's see, 3rd and 2nd ran 6s and 7s, so they just consistently a 10th off when they're right next to each other, and Debaro's unless a yellow comes out, it's going to have to be great pit strategy and able to catch that 27.
Yeah, I think that's really what a lot of this racing has come down to, is especially if these guys get some good green flag runs, and it comes a lot to just really the pit strategy and trying to pass in the pits rather than on the track, because it's so hard to do on the track with these aero wash bubbles that kind of form.
And we saw Jeff Ward really closed up on Bressi, but when he got to him, he just couldn't find a way even to get side by side with him. He's dropped back about half a second now.
And even behind these guys, battle brewing between Buchanan and Chambliss, and it's more or less the same thing that's going on up ahead between Bressi and Ward. Buchanan can't really make up much on Chambliss. Although he's gotten pretty close a few times, but just not close enough to make a pass happen.
Driving harder into the turns, paying the price on the exit. I'm looking at most of these top 5 drivers really getting squirrely off these turns. It's not pedal to the metal out of these turns. You got to get some throttle control in there. Which is kind of, in my opinion, surprising to me considering the night conditions that we're falling under.
Yeah, and you would expect more grip to be coming once nighttime falls, but not really the case. If anything, is getting looser, probably due to the lack of grip in the tires over the course of the run.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what strategies are pulled. I believe it's a 2-stop race at the least. Whoa, Buchanan really drove it in under Chambliss there. That was close to disaster. He's going to get under him here. And he's trying everything he can to get the throttle down, but I believe it's a 2-stop race at the least stop, so I don't know if I'm completely right on that, but if that is a 2-stop race by standard, it'll be interesting to see if anyone even tries a 3-stop because of the fall-off. I wouldn't expect to see it, as Buchanan got around Chambliss there. And Chambliss has some right front damage. I don't remember seeing where that happened, but probably got into the wall or something a short time ago.
Yeah, could have gone into the wall, so now with Zach Buchanan ahead, he's going to be trying to look down and catching Jeff Ward. We'll see if he's able to break away from Brian Chambliss, or if Chambliss can get back to these guys, though the 24 and the 89 still going at it.
Yeah, it's getting more and more interesting. Ward drops back because of a bubble, then he closes back in and just still can't do anything about it. I was looking back, I think Chambliss walled it about 20 laps in, so it's not anything that just happened. But yeah, this bubble of air, regardless of what tire model you have on it, it's still a problem and hard to get around.
Yeah, Buchanan, you can see him start to inch away just a little bit. Looking a little bit further on back, we got a battle brewing between Hayden Pastorius and Riley Thompson. Teammates going at it. Pastorius trying to chase Thompson down. Looks like he's catching back up to him, and Riley Thompson we saw getting pretty hard into the wall off of turn 2. The car has not been the best thing ever since, but I think he's been looking for a chance to fix it on pit road. Has not found that opportunity yet, as we're 40 laps in.
And in a way, Thompson actually has the better damage between the two teammates, because Pastorius' right front isn't looking that good either from my point of view. But Pastorius is hanging in there, maybe not driving the cars too much. Like we said, probably maybe saving tires, and yeah, he's in the bubble now, so we'll see what happens. But looks like Thompson's really getting loose off these turns more than anyone else right now.
He might use the advantage. These guys might also just try to work together. Maybe we'll put the 19 out in front since he's the faster car, but we'll see here. Not all teams operate like that. Some teams will just fight for it, and whatever order they end up in, and here comes Hayden Pastorius to the inside. Looks like Thompson's going to let him on through.
Yep, going to let him on through. It's just Thompson cannot. He's not even coming close to getting a good exit right now of how squirrely the car is. And that's pretty much what everyone's struggling with. And how bad it is depends on how you've been driving the car with this new tire model. It just really depends on the type of driver you have, the type of driver you are, excuse me. And it really got to, in a way, some people have had to change their whole approach to racing now. It's unbelievable how this has changed the landscape.
Yeah, it really has changed the landscape quite a bit. These guys, you know, how they have to race this package more so than anything. And he's kind of got a little bit loose off of turn 2. And I think really, let's talk about the new tire, not two new tire model, the new car, the new Gen 7 car. I'm going to be calling it that. I hate calling the next gen. It's Gen 7 car.
Gen 7. Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, as I'm going to stop talking about that, as you got a battle brewing between the 89 and 24. They gotten a lot closer. Both of them sliding loose off of turn 2. And I'm curious now when we're going to see the first round of pit stops for these guys, because definitely the tire is starting to fall off.
I don't know if you try a big undercut this first stop, but at the same time, Debaro's 3 seconds up, and the gap's only getting bigger. At some point, you have to try something, see if you get some track position on him, because he's just running away with it.
Yeah, and I think these guys back here, at least if they want to win this race, I don't think it's going to matter in the grand scheme of things. But I think really if they want to try to win this race taking the 27, they're going to have to come up with some sort of strategy.
I wouldn't expect them to take it easy. I know it really doesn't mean anything for the fuel finals right now, but you know, it's a race. You gotta go for the win. You gotta do everything you can. You gotta see what strategies work. Try some experimenting. You might as well. It's how Jimmy Johnson got all his championships. All the experimenting he did throughout the season. He showed up for the chase when it mattered, and that's how he's gotten 7 championships. So experimenting's a big key to getting everything to go your way.
So far, pretty straightforward. Those incidents, though, I keep bringing it up, but the field is really spread out right now across the track. Not a whole lot of drivers close to each other, except two or so here and there. They're not really running in bigger packs. And 3, Derek Casser got a piece of the wall for turn 4. He's good.
Almost everyone's gonna have a piece of the wall at some point. I was talking about experimenting, and if you're looking at Jeff Ward right now, he's really experimenting with something in 3 and 4. He's trying to get a really high entry and bring it down low. He's almost in the 3rd lane that we saw the O2, letting faster cars go by. I don't think it's going to work yet unless he just keeps on trying it. It's very interesting to see that.
We'll see this time when he comes on through on the back straight right now, going down to turn 3.
No, of course he didn't.
He's trying to get a better run. He's even fighting loose off turn 4. Even Bressi.
Oh, so was really Bressi. Wow. That was even worse than what Ward was doing.
Yeah, this is fun. I'm liking this new time. It makes these guys work on these cars now. A lot less.
Yeah, they're working on getting their cars in the right direction, just throttling off the turns. Debaro's just working on how to get his lead bigger and bigger.
And Debaro's struggling with anything. No, he's more or less good off the turns. And going back to these two guys, and they were better off this time through as well.
I think the only thing Debaro's going to struggle with, if he even does struggle with it, is a couple of lap cars coming up on Steve Herring 98, Don Rumpel Jr. 00, John Wolko in 62. A couple of cars ahead of him. Shouldn't be too fussy about it. There goes Herring, letting him up.
And Herring falls back. He's going to go a lap down. 14 down on the lead lap. You can see Don Runkle up the head. He's going to be the next victim to go a lap down.
Jeff Ward started driving into 3 that time. Again, another experiment. He almost got to the back bumper of Bressi, but I doubt he's looking for that back bumper. But you never know with Jeff Ward. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, you never know. I doubt these guys are going to get too racy here because it clearly looks like they don't got a whole lot of tire left to work with, let alone to battle with, especially hard. But we'll see here. Ward takes a really big chunk to the inside there, cutting the yellow line. Trying to make up some sort of time in the 24. He's definitely pushing it.
Wasn't a bad run through the turn there, but obviously the lower line doesn't get the exit. But he's able to stick it on the yellow line better than Bressi is, but obviously that little higher line still got the edge here no matter what.
These guys have been really close together. I don't think the gap for this battle has really expanded further than 4/10 of a second. Ward's been right on the back bumper of the 24 this entire time. And I mean, I don't know, I'm really thinking, you know, if you want to take advantage, I think you're going to have to do an undercut here. I don't think the overcut's going to cut it. Whoa, you see Ward
that's not
really
going to cut it either.
No, it is not.
No, not at all whatsoever. I mean, when they're as close as each other, as close as these two are, 1 lap's going to make all the difference here. Ward can just undercut him by 1 lap, just get him by that couple tenths, maybe even a second or more in tire advantage on that first opening lap. It could get him the P2 instead of P3. It could be a big difference.
Could be a big difference between these guys. I want to look at something else, but I'm afraid that something's going to happen if I pull away for too long.
Well, yeah, because that's how it works. We've proven that theory long ago.
Maybe, yeah, Anthony Debaro he's working through getting past Don Runkle Jr. up ahead.
Runkle not let him go easy, at least.
Whoa! Don Runkle goes spinning to the inside. He's going to save it. Luckily, he has all that tarmac to save it. Or paved or run off to save it.
Love to see cars race on a tarmac. See, Ward, I'm not crazy. Ward tried to do that high line again, damn it.
Yeah,
Darn it, excuse me. forgot you're monetized now. Can't say
It
that.
doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
I know it does.
I hope
Gotta
it
get those
doesn't.
well, I mean, we're gonna find out at some point, aren't we? Probably beat Alec at some point. Throw a random curse words, who knows?
Oh, 98 of Steve Herring in the wall as Bressi.
Oh, Ward! What a save! I don't know if you caught that. That was a crazy save. He really tried to do the high to low line there. Throttled up, did not stick whatsoever. I thought he was gone there. What a save!
Oh yeah, it looked a lot worse. It didn't look that bad from the angle that we were looking at it from the wall. But watch this.
Gotta get a cockpit cam on that. Gotta look at the wheel work he had on that. That was great. He almost did it again. Next
Wow,
lap.
almost went 180 degrees on the wheel to the right. Trying to save that thing, did a fantastic job to keep it going straight.
It's official, they're driving these cars.
I know. The only thing that can fix the aero wash, I think that's the next step.
You can only go one step at a time every 2 years, I suppose.
I guess so. I'm glad these guys going to the Xfinity car. I think it's going to be a lot of driving, and then also going to be a lot closer as well. So we're looking forward to that change for next season.
I'm excited to see how those cars perform with the new time out, because obviously they're not going to get them until the Pro Series is over for those guys to get in the peak. So I think those cars will be way more fun. They'll be extremely fun, most likely, at the 1.5 miles, because they were already probably, in my opinion, the most fun car on iRacing to run these days, so it'll probably be really interesting to see how the racing is.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job with the new Xfinity cars. Much better to drive, in my opinion, than the old ones. I felt the old ones were a little bit too tight, and I think a lot of people felt that as well. So, look at Bressi getting past Don Rocco.
See if there's really any more battles. The
really
closest one, I
isn't.
think, is still Bressi and Ward. Buchanan and Chambliss a second apart. Next closest, maybe, then Pastorius, Riley Thompson, second apart. Thompson, Lakatos, about a second.
Yeah,
Lakatos, Sam Crow might be the closest.
Yeah, ever since the opening 20 laps, has been pretty quiet the next 40 as we come through lap 60 here. Just kind of looking down the field, seeing the drivers that we got. We haven't really talked a lot about Sam Crow in the Zero car. He's been having a fairly quiet day at 9th place, sitting behind Lakatos. Hasn't really been able to do anything with it. He's just been following the 50. Hasn't really been able to close in.
He's just been doing a solid job. He started about 13th, got through a couple of the chaotic incidents there without much damage. He's worked himself into a nice top 10 spot here.
Yeah, and also in behind him, Derek Castor, another solid run for him inside the top 10. He almost hits the wall coming out from turn 4 there, but a decent run for him nonetheless. We saw him scrape the wall, but I think hoping to get a caution. I'm sure a lot of these guys are hoping to get a caution here with the way they're struggling to drive this place. And right behind him, Liam Sheen in the 34, having a great run in 11th.
Yeah, a lot of the guys who started not really far up the order. Most of the guys who started in the back, I mean, gaining about 3 to 6 spots from the start of a race due to a couple other, like, unfortunate circumstances with, like, Mitch Welker, Fambro, Hensley started top 10 already out of a race, so it's going to be a good climb to the front for a couple of these guys.
And we see a few guys have come down, or one guy's come down to the pits,
Brandon
and that
Key,
is Brandon Key, the 22.
And we'll see what happens here. We'll see what times he puts up with the damage he has compared to the leader in Debaro. Maybe he'll get people's eyes open.
Debaro, he's not coming by this time by Bressi and Ward staying out.
So even with that big slide, Ward's still closing in on Bressi.
I wonder if a lot of these guys are going to try to stretch the field out as much as they can. They're close to going halfway.
Gotta go like 83, not 83, like 78 laps, I believe.
Yeah, 78 laps. I would say probably 80, considering I had a caution for 5 laps, so.
I don't feel like they'd be able to make it that far. But Richmond, you can only make it like under 80 laps, so I feel like it'd be a shorter fuel window here.
Well, after seeing, they're getting close to it. I felt like if they couldn't make it to halfway, we would have seen a pit stop by now, but everyone's still running out there.
That's a good point, I suppose. That was like I was just watching Debaro. It was the first time I saw him slide at all. It was out of 2 there, and it wasn't even a big slide. He's just cruising right now for what cruising can be with this loose car. He's got a Right now, I think it's now up to almost a 5-second lead over Bressi right now.
Looking at Bressi and Ward, they're closing back up on each other yet again. Ward, he's closed. This has been according quite a few times. But usually when he gets back close, it means he's going to try to pass the 24.
Let's see. These two got closer again. The other battle that got close again is Buchanan and Chambliss.
This is interesting to see here. I would have thought that Buchanan would have just driven away from Chambliss, but these two guys had not been separated a whole lot.
More people coming in. Caster at 48 just came in from P11. Brandon Key just put up with his damage at 27.3, which is 0.6 faster than Debaro was the leader the last time through. So even with the damage he has, and he hasn't been obviously the fastest pace-wise anyways, it's going to probably open up some eyes there, seeing if a guy down there like that can run a couple tenths faster than the leader. It's obviously going to be a big advantage from the start, no doubt. So what else we got here? Ward's been trying everything he can. He's been trying high in 3, cutting the dog leg as much as he can, trying to Tokyo drift out of 4. I mean, he's trying everything.
Yeah, you can't blame a man for trying. He's doing his best with what he's got.
Last thing he's got to try is the undercut, but I think he's holding out on it.
Last thing he's got is hitting the 24, getting it to. Hasn't done that yet. I think a little bit too early to even try that, but we'll see if he gets desperate later on.
We'll see what happens. I think, my opinion would be like, right now would be like 8 laps from making it one stop.
Yeah,
but maybe everyone's trying to save fuel to the end, regardless of if he can make it halfway or not.
We're getting really close to that magic number. There really is not a lot going on the track.
Most important part is the day-night transition, but it is still interesting to see these drivers slide off these turns like that. It's not getting as bad. I think these drivers, mainly Ward and Bressi that I'm watching right now, are starting to realize how much thought it'll put into it off these turns and everything.
Bressi driving off into turn 1 here. There you see actually 22, Brandon Key. He's one of the fresh tires.
Fresh tires looking good, obviously, as we'd expect, but still not a lot of, really no one up front has gone for it. Yeah, top 7 have stayed the same. Lakatos is an 8th, Road 9th. At least the top 9 haven't hit yet, I believe.
Yeah, most of the drivers pretty much haven't. Lean Machine and Wilco have, but I think they've been pretty much out here as much as everyone else. They can actually stretch out the fuel a little bit longer, not by a lot, maybe about 2 or 3 laps. Pretty much everyone has not made the final stop yet, getting very close to potentially even just stretching it on fuel mileage, even if you just go on one stop.
I do have to remember that we did have that. Well, we had the caution was lap 1. They pit lap 2, so it is only 2 laps. So
it's only 2 laps, but then they pace for like a little bit, so they pretty much save about 3
maybe an extra lap. It couldn't have saved that much fuel, I wouldn't think, on just the 1, 2, or 3 pace laps there. I don't remember the fuel stretching this far. Then again, NIS fixed, you don't get green flag runs. It's crazy.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Especially here, this place typically likes to be very caution heavy. I'm gonna knock on the artificial wood I have on my desk.
I don't have it.
But yeah, no, no matter what series we've done, this place usually breeds a lot of cautions. We only had 1 caution tonight for 3 laps.
Jeff Ward's closed in yet again. Now he's on the outside of Bressi. He's got the clean air up there as well. If he can just gas it up perfectly, he could maybe get a run to the inside into 1, but he just can't do it. It's all over the bumper now, though.
Yeah, I'm actually honestly surprised at this point that he's going to try to pass him on the track. If anything, I'd just be focused on getting into the pits.
Thing is, he could try to pass him on the track and then immediately get into the pits. That could be a good strategy as well.
Yeah, that could be too. So we'll have to see here. This is the high lane you're talking about. Finally caught on camera.
Finally, thank you. I ain't crazy. It's just not working though. No matter how many times he's trying it, he's losing so much time entering, and he's not gaining it on exit because he can't throttle it up.
Now here's a even closer battle in behind them. Brian Chambliss and Buchanan going at it for round 2. Chambliss has gone back up to Buchanan in the 40.
doesn't look like Buchanan's rotating the center of a corner well, so who knows? The tire might not be feeling too well there. You got to watch out for when it starts getting tightened up like that now.
Here they go off into turn 3. Nothing yet.
Oh, Bressi almost, Ward almost did it again. Got loose off of 4 again, and he's about over half a second back once again.
That gap's really separated out for quite a bit here. Still looking at the battle between the 45 and the 40.
Wouldn't be surprised if maybe Ward now, another opportunity lost. Maybe he tries pulling in the pits now, as Debaro's coming to take lap 78, which means yes, they can most likely go off only one stop. Ward did not come down that time as I thought he would.
I think these guys are waiting to complete lap 78. You get bonus points for going that far. McQuistion has made it on the pit road there.
Yeah, caused out lap 1 caution earlier. Chambliss loose off a 2 there. He's had a decent run since then. He really hasn't been slow. He's gone another lap down, 16th, but other than the people behind him, he's been a survivor. So
halfway through this race now, officially, these guys pretty much can make it to the end.
I would hope so.
If anything, they got to stretch a little bit, but nothing a little fuel saving can't do you.
So, yeah, I was about to ask if there's been a fuel saving race at Phoenix, but I think Edwards ran out 1 year or something.
It's hard to do, but you can definitely do it. Whoa, Ward really loose off of turn 4 now.
He can't figure out how to get off that turn right now. That's really the fall and grace of his run, because I think he's been faster than Bressi for the most part of the run, but he keeps making that same mistake out of turn 4, not being passive enough on the throttle out of 4. So it's really costing him.
Yeah, I think McQuistion has called it a day down in the pits. He's been in there for quite a while.
They've called it a run too. Bressi and Ward just entered the pits, as I think they were reacting. No, they weren't reacting to the 27. 27 did not pit, so maybe they.
Oh, and everyone else, Zach Buchanan came in there really hot. I'm curious if he might have gotten a speeding penalty. He was locking the brakes, sliding into the pits, and so
Riley
4
Thompson.
of the top 5 in.
Riley Thompson was in as well, so Debaro wasn't in. I know Chambliss didn't pit there. I think that was Pastorius still on. Yeah, he can't risk losing any time there.
Gotta cover your bases. Don't want to get caught out on strategy, looking to see where these guys are in the pits. They're getting service right sides up, down the left.
Pastorius does here. Looks like Pastorius is going to assume the lead for now, maybe. As long as he beats Debaro out, which obviously he should. He's going to see how long he stretches it for, since he stayed out.
Bressi's going to beat Ward off of pit road. Buchanan going to beat Chambliss by quite a bit.
Quite a bit there. I think another person that stayed out, Casey Lacadas. He's barely going to even beat Chambliss out, however. There's Derek Castor as well. Don Rocco Jr., I believe. I think he already made a stop, maybe. Or maybe he hasn't, not sure. And it should be Pastorius taking over the lead for the time being. We'll see what he does on this longer extended run.
Debaro's out and away here. Trying to see what the gap is. He's lost about, I want to say about 3.5 seconds. Or sorry, the gap's dropped to about 3.5 seconds between him and Bressi. He's lost about 1.5 seconds.
I feel like it might have been 2.5. He was close to 6 seconds up on him, so
yeah,
it was a decent amount.
I was remembering at 5, but could be wrong. So it still is closed down quite a bit, but it should expand back out. As Debaro's got barely any, but still a tire advantage, and Hayden Pastorius down in the pits, and that should pretty much round out our cycle. As Debaro should be inheriting the lead as see him come off at turn 4. And to continue this race on to its second half.
Lacadas pit as well as Sam Crow, another person who still hadn't pit, and yeah, that should come all the way around to the end of that. Probably the only green flag pit stop, the only green flag pit stop sequence there. So we'll see if it tightened anything up here, but I'd sort of Bressi and Ward's battle isn't tightened up anymore. It's about maybe 1.3 seconds between those two now.
Yeah, it separated out a decent amount. Thought it would have been closer around a
just
caution
like that.
out.
That'll tighten it up.
Yeah, that'll tighten up indeed. He's got the 98 of Steve Herring. He's around out of turn 4, and I think this is kind of classic what we've been seeing. You've seen quite a few drivers get loose out of that corner.
This wasn't on old tires either. He just pit.
Yeah, so this is on fresh tires, on cold tires more importantly.
Yep. Just went around.
Round he went. Took a look on board the 98.
Looks like he'll call it a night as well. Another casualty.
He's watching him go into the corner. Everything's fine. You can see it start to slip. Tries to save it, and into the wall he goes.
I believe Pastorius and Lakatos are on the lead lap, so they just pit. What do you do if you're them?
I would stay out. Honestly, I mean, if you've just come in, I would honestly just stay out and take the lead.
I'm trying to see. He comes out of pit road. Yeah, Pastorius came out of pit road. He clutched it middle of 3 and 4, so he just got out of the pits. I believe Lakatos might have an extra lap on the tires, but Pastorius had just came out of the pits, I believe.
Yep.
So he's looking to have fresh tires, but he will pit with the rest of the front.
And
Lakatos stayed out.
Yeah, Lakatos is going to stay out. We've seen him do this. He stays out, leads a lap. Obviously, not really going to benefit him a whole lot. He's out of the field finals, but you know, you might just stay out on the track. I don't blame him. I think would be a really good strategy call to do that. But down to the pits we go. Let's see if there's any change.
I expect there to be, but we'll see. Sam Crow, I believe, got the lucky dog there.
What I would do, I would just take right sides. Honestly, if I was one of these guys, take some right sides.
I would think so, but I think it'd be a good option to try, but no one tried it. Debaro, Bressi, Ward, Zach Buchanan comes out 4th, and might be Derek Castor in 5th, I believe, actually, possibly.
Ooh, Brian Chambliss stayed out. He might just stay out on the track.
Did not see that. No, he does this sometimes to try to get a lap lead, but he's still staying out.
Doesn't look like he's going to come to the road. He will stay out on the track. So will Casey Lakatos.
His tires were definitely older than Lakatos's by a couple
he came in
laps.
With Bressi, Buchanan, and Ward. But his tires aren't significantly older. But yeah, I think for Lakatos this is looking a little bit better. But
I think we saw Lakatos do this at ISM and ORL as well.
Yeah.
I think that was different circumstances with a lost front end, but it happened.
Yeah, he stayed out late in the race there, down on power too significantly. So he was just kind of trying to ride, see what happens.
Didn't even help his teammate.
Yeah. So he's out here now, just trying to run, potentially get a win here. If he's got some fairly decent pace, not so much with the leaders, but definitely enough to stay in the top 5, I believe.
We'll see what happens. I feel like, personally, I think maybe he might fire off better on the restart because the tires have some heat in them.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else on cold tires, but I feel like after that, it could be downhill. Literally downhill from there for those two, but we'll see what happens. I feel like Ricardo's has the best advantage, has the best chance of getting the lead on the restart, but obviously Chambliss has the jump on him, being the leader and everything, as I think we only have 12 cars on the lead lap, because I think the lead machine's going to take the lead around, so 12 cars.
You've lost quite a few drivers in general. 12 cars on the lead lap, only 15 running. So quite a few drivers have called it quits tonight. Out of the 22 that took the green flag, only 15 remain.
Most notable probably Fabro. Looked like he had a fast car, just caught up in unfortunate stuff. Once again, Hensley called it a night. Mitch Wilker, Halaba, Vlarski, Dakota DeCienzo, and Travis McQuiston. And I believe Steve Herring was, I don't know if he is done. I don't believe he is.
No,
he
he's
didn't get that much damage. So, yeah, a couple of guys just, second to last race, you're not running for anything, and just go home, try to run something fixed. So we're going to come to Virginia. This is going to be interesting.
Yep, it is. Green flag back in the air. Chambliss launching it down the
Lakatos
straightaway. Poor restart
all.
for Lakatos as Bressi is going to go to his outside 3 wide down
3
to turn
wide.
1.
Bressy's not in a good situation. There's really not much grip up there.
Oh,
Ward
Casey Lakatos goes to the Ward, and Buchanan around big crash midfield, and the yellow is back out.
You kind of saw that coming, and Jeff Ward's paid the biggest price of anyone, and Zach Buchanan into it as well. A couple of front runners, top 5 all race, pretty much total. That is unfortunate to say the least.
Here's a look back at it again. Ward gets into Lakatos, and Ward into Buchanan as well. Well, let's take a few looks at this.
Unfortunate bounce. I don't know how Jeff Ward really got hooked. It looked like he got hooked in the right rear, but that was obviously not the case. That's because he like hopped over Lacatus' car, I think. Brandon Key got a piece of it as well. Could have been worse. He did a good job avoiding, I believe, the 50.
There's a look from Jeff Ward's onboard here. See him on the inside. Kind of slides up a little bit. I mean, I'm calling that a racing incident regardless. Just with everyone.
It's a race.
Close. But
yeah, you should have seen how close Bressi got. How close Bressi was to being left reared in that. That was really close, but it was just unfortunate. There wasn't enough room for Jeff Ford to really stay down there. Connors was trying to get room to Bressi, obviously. But just one of those. It's pretty close, yeah. Yeah. They might have gone through him as well. It's one of those unfortunate
the gearbox of Bressi. Wow, that was really close.
I think we don't have to pay for the iRacing cameras. That's one that's gone.
Yeah,
I would assume
wow.
the camera's gone.
Gotta try to get this on slow-mo here.
A good view of the Mustang logo. How about that?
Alright, so this is in slow-mo. You really gotta see how close and how lucky Bressi was right there. Wow.
What an angle. I know Brandon Key got some damage out of it, but he did a good job avoiding Lacatus at the end of it, I believe.
Yeah, and then also trying to get a look what happened to Buchanan. That pretty much ended his race.
I'm pretty sure he was the one who killed Ward.
I'll sit for a second. There we go. This is what happened to Buchanan. He just got a huge bump from the 89 that sent him flying out sideways toward the inside. Well, actually, that car could be looking a lot worse. If he didn't damage anything important, he could be alright.
You talking about Buchanan?
Yeah. He's just sitting in the pits.
That'd be shocking then. He absolutely killed Ward.
Well, visually it doesn't look that bad, but I'm guessing it's a lot worse inside the car than outside of it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be shocked if he's able to continue at a decent pace even. Obviously, same for Ward.
Well, that took out quite a few drivers, to say the least.
Might be down to single digits soon.
Yeah, Ward's sitting in his pit stall. I don't know if he's going to continue or if he's just sitting down getting extra repairs. Might be the latter.
And the person who is going to continue, though, is the leader, Brian Chambliss. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, we got 10 cars now on the lead lap. Only 11 running, or 12 running. Man, this race took out a lot of drivers.
I believe 11 cars on the lead lap now. Maybe 10, because Ward
10.
obviously just went a lap down.
Yeah, we got Wilco and Herring who are running on the track and letting down. We'll see if anyone else comes back out, but it's still going to be Brian Chambliss leading them to green here.
There goes Buchanan. He called it a night. Long way to go, too. It was a crazy restart there. It's pretty much didn't shake. It shook things up, but not for the lead. Obviously, as Chambliss gonna go early, and we're
green flag back in the air for Brian Chambliss. He's gonna take the lead easily off into turn one. Debaro gonna go in front of Bressi. He's around.
What a save! I can't believe he saved that. Unbelievable. That was really aggressive by Bressi. Pretty much turned them around, and now they're both in a hole.
Yep, they're both now falling to the back of the field. That's giving Pastorius in second and Derek Casper up into third.
More contact. Debaro's going around again. He saves it again.
No,
he's not.
Oh, and Bressi and
Bressi's hard into the wall. Debaro's wrecked as
and a
well.
caution's out. Is that a full moon?
What has just happened?
This is a full moon tonight.
Unbelievable. Literally, that's like 4
there
of the
goes
5
our finals field.
Are done.
Our finals
Brian
field is essentially out.
Brian Chambliss has to pit. I don't know what else to say.
Man.
I've never seen anything like that in a matter of like 10 laps. Unbelievable.
Alright, we're gonna have to rewind quite a bit to look at that initial start, because, oh boy.
I'm in shock. Oh my god. First off, Bressi just really dove in. I think he saw his opportunity to get by Debaro into turn one.
Looking here at turn one on that restart. Debaro was trying to clear Bressi. Bressi was saying, nope, I'm going to stick my nose in there, clip the 27. He went around. We'll keep an eye here as they get back up to speed.
They already put themselves in a hole.
Yeah.
They're obviously already going to be angry at each other. Bressi probably thought he got chopped. Debaro obviously the opposite. And Debaro drives in hard in the 3. And Bressi, I can't really blame that one on Bressi as much, to be honest.
Yeah, but Debaro kind of pinched him down, and then up they went. Sam Crow, an innocent victim, and then Debaro almost saved it, but then he went to the wall. And we'll take a look at that second incident, really, to get, I guess, not necessarily blame fault, but try to dissect this. You see Debaro, yeah.
That's shades of Truex and Kyle Busch at the Brickyard. I know there was only one incident at the Brickyard, but it's almost got that same feel.
There's another look off of a different camera going to turn 3 here. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you. This is more of a racing incident because Bressi really didn't have much else for other.
And there's another one of those, it's kind of the same thing that happened between the 50 and the 89, the previous, like, incident. They kind of just, like, got into each other's cars a little bit. Poor Sam Crow, just completely an innocent bystander, didn't know it hit.
So, we're running out of cars here. And actually,
we're running out of contenders, I think.
And speaking of contenders, I think actually looking at the field, I think we're looking at a first-time winner tonight.
I mean, it could be anyone. I mean, Brian Chambliss is still, I wouldn't call him the favorite because he's still got the older tires. Hayden Pastorius is in the catbird seat here. And we also got Derek Casters in 3rd all of a sudden. Lacatus is in 4th after his troubles. And Liam Sheen's 5th, Runkle's 6th. Go down the order. I mean, the order's completely different. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I don't know what to say either. This race has gone from...
It's turned upside down.
Yeah, this is looking kind of lackluster, for lack of a better word, earlier on in the first half of this race. And the second half of this race has devolved into chaos.
I feel like it might be the end of the chaos, but obviously...
I mean, we've still got over 50 laps to go, which is a long time.
That's another thing. A long race to go. We just got to halfway, and they're racing like this is basically it. Yeah. I know the aero push is bad; it's hard to pass, which is probably main part of a reason why all these top drivers are racing like this, like Bressi was going into the turn hard. But I mean, you got time to learn the track still and make all the moves you want to take. I mean, I'm just honestly in shock what just happened.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the wins column in the championship. Our only winners this season are Debaro, Ward, Kohan, Bressi, Johnson, and Robert Hall. And none of those guys are really left running except for Debaro. Debaro's the only one running, but he's 2 laps down. That's a lot to make up. Although we could see a bunch of cautions that puts him back on the lead lap, but still, I think the hit he took to the wall, I think that pretty much is enough to put him out of competitive pace. Brian Chambliss is going to lead them back down. Hayden Pastorius, how about him? If there were more cars in the field, he would have had a legitimate shot at getting themselves into the next round of the finals. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to beat that, but still has a chance to get a win as we're back right here at ISM.
Yeah, the only one left from running the top 5, that whole green flag run, the only one who's running in the top 5 that's left is Chambliss, and he was, I believe, running 5th. As a lot of chaos happened in the
loose on the bottom, almost went around.
So Caster's just letting people by, not going to really try to get into a big fight for any big positions, but Chambliss so far, he's got a gap on Pastorius, and Lacatus is settled in 3rd.
How about this? And actually, here's the thing, Don Runkle's running in 5th, and we actually, I remember we said plan it back, I believe if Don Runkle finishes in the top 5, we would donate to Mission 22. I forgot how much the dollar amount we said was. Someone could probably come back and quote that. But currently he's running in the top 5.
Another thing I saw earlier in the iRacing chat, Liam Sheen put $10 to Hayden if he wins, so we can also see another donation being made as well. Pastorius has got a real legit shot of doing it.
So, just look at this entire top 5. Chambliss, Pastorius, Lacatus, Sheen, Runkle.
Literally one person who was running top 5 the whole race.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And Caster 6th, and 7th on track is Debaro. He's not running the worst pace, and he is actually in line for the lucky dog. He needs some yellows to get back on the lead lap.
He ran at 27.1 last time to the leader's 26.6, so he's still off the pace, even if he does get back on the lead lap.
Not as bad as I thought it would be, to be honest. Another thing, I was talking about how it's amazing Lacatus is up there. He didn't get as much damage as I thought. I think he only just got spun and maybe hit in the back bumper. I'm not sure what happened, but it's really only back bumper damage. He's actually I believe he's staying with them up there, so he's still not out of it as well.
Looking at Derek Castor, he's trying to catch back up to Runkle. He fell back on the restart after getting loose on the inside. He's chasing down that 0-0.
Looks like Debaro's calling it quits. He just entered the pits.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, there's not much point running out here. He's safe and good to the next round, so I think he's just going to call it a night. Watch from the stands to see this interesting race unfold.
There might be some loud mouthing going on in the virtual garage area between him and Bressi. That's probably not what those two want going into Vegas, a bit of a rivalry. Didn't even touch on that, what that means for how they race each other in the final race.
I was going to say, I don't think those guys have really been happy with each other for most of the season, but, they kind of, went on with it, went on to the next round, but I think this is going to make things really hot going for the championship in the next round. So...
Good thing Alec left, I think. It's a good thing he didn't race. Who knows what happened. I think it's good for him that he's out of all this drama between especially those two.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the last thing he needs. You look at second through third, they're racing each other, but Brian Chambliss has been driving off a second ahead of them.
I'm pretty surprised by that, to be honest. As Chambliss, the next person he's lapping is Jeff Ward for the 12th. It would be the 12th time. Looks like Jeff Ward's putting down just a couple laps right now. We'll see how long he keeps it going, but... that he's even worse, running worse, slower than Debaro, 28.2. I think Lakatos is faster than Pastorius by a good amount right now. Almost got into the back on there.
Yeah, he did.
He's got to find a way to pass him. He's got to find a way to pass him now before it's too late, because Chambliss is cooking the fire right now.
Well, Lakatos really needs to get by and get going up ahead. This could be his first win in both the Fuel Cup Series and the Outsiders Racing League between them. So he's trying to get up here. This is his best opportunity, currently running in third.
Regardless of how crazy, I guess downright stupid this race has turned out to be, I don't think anyone would be mad about a Brian Chambliss win. He's definitely one of the more liked people in any league he races in, really. He's well respected. I respect him a ton. I'd be stoked to see him win.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be fine with it. I'm honestly kind of happy the race turned out this way. It was looking pretty boring early on. This made it really
got some drama, just too bad there's no bubble drama, I suppose.
Yeah, I know. We got all the drama, honestly, I would argue.
I'm fine with it. I'm ready for these last 50 laps.
Yeah, they see Chambliss getting on by Jeff Ward. Ward going 12 laps down now.
Still a P12, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's running.
Debaro just left. He might get a top 10.
He could. I wonder if Ward's just running out here just to pass Debaro.
I don't know. It's like, let's see, Lakatos was on the back bumper of Pastorius. He's dropped off now, and he's falling into the clutches of 4th place Liam Sheen. The names that are up here all of a sudden, it's just crazy. Meanwhile, while we're speaking, it looks like, I don't know if the tires are wearing out or not, but Chambliss 27.307 last lap to Hayden Pastorius' 27.147, almost a tenth and a half. Pastorius is closing a little bit.
We'll see. Chambliss, he's getting a little bit loose off of turn 4, so you're right, he might have pushed it a little bit too far. Last time they were fairly close.
A little faster.
Yeah. But I think he's starting to fall off. He's definitely not pushing not pulling ahead as much as he was earlier.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if these top 4 stay this close to each other for the rest of a run. There's really no separation between them right now, really. Only a tenth, maybe, from Chambliss back to Liam Sheen. It's going to be these top 4 to the end. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and remember, these guys aren't going to have to make another pit stop. We're rolling good for that. So they're pretty much going to finish on the tires they got on. So you got to save just a little bit, at least enough to make it to the end of the race. Can't push out too hard now. Got to save a little bit for the end.
I gotta say, if the running order holds up as it is right now to the end, what a call by Brian Chambliss to stay out on fairly worn tires.
Avoided all that. He would have been right in behind them.
Yeah, he would have been in the thick of it. He probably would have been done. So, I mean, call of the year possibly. I mean, it's really gonna benefit him if it holds on.
Looking like the best of these guys, because was running higher up in the order, was running 4th and 5th. Before halfway, before the few cautions that we've had recently come out, in fact, we're up to 4 cautions now. We only had 1 by halfway.
It's definitely came in bunches, cautions, precautions. They just did right there with those, I believe, 3 yellows, including the initial one. just really upside down race all of a sudden. Like running backwards at Phoenix all of a sudden. Run backwards for 10 laps, then go one set of them goes forward, the other goes backwards, you know,
Tony
that
Stewart.
sort of stuff. Yep.
Tony Stewart's
Some of them run the rallycross track as well.
Yeah, I know, that would be really interesting. Derek Cash has gone around Don Runkle. Runkle's dropped back to 6th, and actually here comes John Wilco. So these guys duking it out for 6th, which is a weird thing to say. Again, nothing against these guys, but needless to say, they typically don't run.
Not where they were, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Another person who's fighting with something is Bressi. I think he's fighting with 4th gear. His car's not fast enough to get into it yet. There he goes. He got into it. Nope, he's shifting it down already.
Yeah,
or he's just letting people by. I don't know how many laps he's going to run. Maybe he's going to try passing Debaro as well.
Yeah, well, Jeff Ward's accomplished it. He's still out on the track, so I guess he's planning on finishing this race. More power to him. I'm sure he wants
Hopefully
power.
He needs about 12 cautions. Next guy getting the lucky dog would be Steve Herring. He's 5 down. But I think Brandon Key's probably going to go lap down at some point this week.
Yeah, he's been struggling all night long. We'll get a 9th out of all of this, considering what's occurred. So, considering
he's
the
not
state
complaining. He has no front end. He's 9th.
Yeah. Well, looking at the state of the car, definitely cannot complain. Hayden Pastorius starting to track down Brian Chambliss. That gap dropping to under a second.
Yep, those two starting to separate themselves. Cottis might have burned up his stuff, or either that or the damage is starting to show. He's 2.4 back of Chambliss, second half of Pastorius.
Yeah, it does have some right side damage after getting into Jeff Ward earlier. Not a whole lot, but something, and some rear end damage as well.
Yeah, it could be both, could be just the right side, but regardless, he's probably not going to be able to keep up unless we get a restart. The only person who's keeping up with Chambliss is that 19 car, and that 19 car is closing right now. But it's all about if and probably when he gets there, how can he pass him? It doesn't seem like a lot of people have figured it out, as he cut about, that being said, he cut about more than 2/10 out of that.
Yeah, he took out a
right
chunk.
there.
He took out a really big chunk, and he's now starting to be a much bigger threat to Chambliss. Well, Chambliss really needs to just focus on the road ahead. He's got a little over 30 laps to go. Don't blow it now. This is your best shot at a win.
I think Chambliss is trying to find something. He doesn't have enough grip. He just went to the high line in 3 and 4 to try to find something, and he's lost, I believe, a 1/10 and a half there. Gap's down below half a second. Chambliss has got to find something quick.
Yeah, and Chambliss, I think, might have ran into the issue we've seen in a few other series, especially the K&N car, is when the leader just drives off into the distance and burns up their stuff too much. You can do that a lot more in the old tire model, but with this newer tire, gotta conserve, especially for the leader. So I think he's starting to fall under prey to that. Pistorius has saved his stuff, and now he's catching back up.
It just seems like Chambliss, his car can't do anything right now. Pistorius is able to drive it in harder, mainly into turn 3. He's rotating so much better. He's also taking a big chunk out of a dogleg there as well. He's able to throttle up, not get as loose as Chambliss is on the throttle. Nothing going Chambliss's way. Pistorius has got to be loving this chance right now.
Indeed he does. Pistorius started in 11th, currently up in 2nd place. And actually, we'll see here if anything happens down to turn 1. No, we'll quickly take a look back at...
He's got a better run, though.
Oh, yeah, he did. Oh, actually, we'll keep an eye on this as he's sideways. This is going to be a battle here in a bit.
They are going to be going all out for this. Chambliss knows this is going to be most likely his last chance at a win this season, and he really wants to go out with a bang.
Yeah, well, hopefully he doesn't go out into the wall, because I'm curious on how much he's going to fight it. His tires are getting worse and worse. Pastorius has got decent tires on him, so he can try to easily bully his way around the 45 with better tires.
I'd say do not give Pastorius the top. Make him work on the bottom. Make him work his right front harder than you have to work yours. All the arrow push, how hard it is to pass on the inside already at this track. If he hits you, which he almost did right there, it is what it is. Try to get back to him, but you got to make him go to a bottom, I believe. If you give him the top, you're admitting game over.
And there you see it. Battle is on now for the lead. Looking at Chambliss, looking at Pastorius. Pastorius almost gave him the bumper, as we were saying, down to turn 3. Look at the drive off for the 19.
Got a great run. Chambliss got a bit loose. He's looking outside. He might be there. I don't think Chambliss can block it, but he's going to. Pastorius lets Chambliss drive into the turn deep there, both on the yellow line. Pastorius trying to get the edge off the turn, put a little bit more throttle down, which he does ever so slightly. Will he look for a dive up the inside? Here he's looking into turn 1. Chambliss chops it off, but he's not going to get a good entrance. All over the back bumper of Chambliss right now. He's going to dive low right here. Chambliss trying to block it.
Almost gets turned. Doing so, he's going to put him almost
All
into the
the way
safety
down.
barrier on the inside. Here comes Hayden Pastorius up the inside.
That's what I knew would happen. Chambliss has to give him the least amount of room possible. Pinch him every moment you can down there. Don't give him any drive off.
Whoa!
But Chambliss doesn't have a drive off. Into the wall. He's into the
Oh,
wall.
he's in the wall
crashing.
even more, and that might end his race right there. At least his
Ah.
chance for the win, as he gets a lot of right side damage doing so. And
He
Pastorius
knew that was it.
gets the lead.
He knew that was it. He knew that was his chance. He tried everything he can, pitching him hard. It just drove it too hard. The tires just weren't there.
We'll look back at what happened there. Pretty straightforward here. We saw him getting loose out of turn 4 quite a few times. Just powered it out at turn 4, drifted up into the wall, and then hit it once again even harder in the middle of the front straightaway.
Oh man, it was so close to taking Hayden out as well.
Yeah.
That would have gone well with the theme of the race.
I thought that was gonna happen. Part of me was
It
kind
was close.
Part of me was kind of hoping that would happen, just to continue this on, because we're not going to get a race like this for a very long time. I don't think a race this crazy. Might as well continue the theme. But Casey Licata is now trying to chase down Brian Chambliss to take away second place. Hayden Pastorius has got a 1.8 second lead as we are approaching 30 laps to go, or just under 30 laps to go.
I'm just saying, Chambliss could have just given up and turned it left and taken out Pastorius. He was able to keep it off him, which I think was a smart move on his part.
And looking after that's died down, looking a little further back. Liam Sheen and Derek Castor going at it. Castor trying to fight his way up into fourth. Liam Sheen throwing a block down into turn 1. There goes Castor to the inside.
It's a couple of the best finishes of the season for these two they're going for. I don't know what exactly the best finishes this season are for them, but they're racing hard for it. I know
I
that.
can almost put money that it's definitely not 4th and 5th. It's probably probably around 10th, I would say, or 9th. I think that's more likely where they got in their best
I think
finishes.
even tonight, with the small field, they would have been happy with 10th.
Yeah. Liam Sheen loose all through turns 4, through turns 3 and 4. Now here comes Castor again up the inside. These guys are going at it.
Gotta get the throttle down. Sheen didn't do it well. I think
He's loose.
Castor's gonna get him here.
Castor got a great run off at turn 2. Gonna race him down to turn 3. He's gonna send it into the corner. And Castor is gonna go up into 4th. How about this? And actually, I was gonna do this early. Just take a look at where these guys started. Derek Castor started in 16th. Liam Sheen started 18th. Casey Licata in 12th. Brian Chambliss in 5th. And Hayden Pastorius at 11th. So 5 out of your top 10 started outside. Sorry, 4 out of your top 10 started outside. No, 4 out of your top 5 started outside the top 10. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, 9 out of a top 10 started outside the top 10.
Yeah.
Chambliss is the only one in the top 10. Next closest is Pastorius, who started 11th.
Yeah, Wilco
People
started
start first,
21st, is
second,
in 6th. Runkle 14th is in 7th. Samco 13th and 8th. Brannicky 19th is in 9th. And Herring 20th and is in 10th.
I mean, it literally is an upside-down race. The people who start up front aren't going to finish, probably. Not probably, they are.
Well, now it's a race for second place with Chambliss. He's trying to hold up Casey Licata, and Licata has got a much better shot now with the damage that Chambliss has to his car.
Now Pastorius is in the position that Debaro was for pretty much that whole long run, cruising, no mistakes, don't have to put the throttle down hard to race anyone, just run your race, you have it easy as long as there's no yellows, just saying.
Yeah, I think the odds of a yellow, I would say, are fairly low. Only got 11 guys running on the track and only 8 of them on the lead lap, so everyone's pretty spread out. Oh, Chambliss loose off of turn 4 as I say that.
Oh, caught us into a wall just to avoid him. I was about to say he was doing a pretty good job. Still hanging on the second there, even though the damage he just got. But as I was about to say it,
His issues seem to be compiling on him as he's getting loose and loose the tires. He's just wearing out the right side a lot more and more as we go on in this race. So I think it's only going to get worse for him as this goes on.
Cottis wasn't that much slower than Pastorius. I don't think he'll be able to do anything with 20 laps to go in this race now, but we'll see if he starts pushing it. Pastorius starts really letting off the throttle. We'll see how close it can get, I suppose.
I don't think Lacanis has enough to chase down Pastorius, and even then I don't think he's got enough laps. Coming down to 20 laps to go, 21 now, as Pastorius comes across the line. Last lap through, oh, the cost was a little faster.
So yeah, we're at 8:59. It's a pretty good lap for at the point in the run we're in, at least. He ran a pretty high line in the turn 3 there. I wouldn't say it was what Jeff Ward was trying, but it is in the rubber. And we'll see how much it works, see if anything, see if he still has an advantage.
Diesel guy was a little bit loose off of turn 4 last time.
A little faster again.
Yeah, a little faster, but he needs to be he needs to start taking out bigger chunks. He's got to get to him at over a tenth a lap because we come to 20 to go. So unless he's going at that pace, he's not going to get up to Pastorius. I'm sure he's going to drive his heart out trying to get there, but I don't think he's going to be too disappointed with a second place finish.
No, most likely. I mean, he probably thought his night was over when the wreck initially happened. Being P2 right now is going to be outstanding. Lost time there.
This is the closest battle on the track between Lacatus and Chambliss.
I don't expect much to happen here anyways at this point, but we've seen mistakes happen, so.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of stuff happen in this race, man. It has been chaotic to say the least.
James is like driving in really hard now. He wasn't driving it in hard enough when Pastorius was catching it. It seems like now that everything's gone down the drain, he's really trying to push it hard now.
Yeah, I guess really for a lot of guys, you know, might as well push it. You're not really fighting for a whole lot anymore in this season. Just going for wins at this point for the start of the next season.
Any momentum he can get, you know? Bressi, looks like Bressi's come out of the pits once again. Here he comes. 24 cars looked better, I think. I think I can say that. The only one that might have been worse was that orange creamsicle car at Dover in 2014. That was the one win I saw. In person, I mean.
Yeah, there's a train of cars missing their noses. It's Bressi, and then you got Sam Crow and Brandon Key.
It just mirrors that front bumper just missing parts. There's not even like a bumper, like a full bumper bar on the damn thing.
Looks like modifieds.
Looks like there's part taken off the modified as well.
Not a whole lot. Looks like Brian James is starting to fall off a little bit off of Lacatus. Lacatus not really making a whole lot of inroads to Aiden Pastorius, and Pastorius just right now hoping this race goes green to the end with 15 to go.
I'd be shocked if a yellow came out now, but I guess, like we said, we keep saying we've seen weirder things just tonight. But the only spins I really seen were on cold tires. People are getting loose on these old hot tires, but everyone saved it. We've seen 2 main spins tonight, self spins, and they were all on cold tires. So unless someone just puts on a new set of tires, I mean, I don't see much happening.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I didn't know we were racing motorcycles. Yeah.
I mean, hey, if someone's arm's itchy, this can make this race pretty exciting, even more so than we thought earlier.
Black screen? I'm up for a black screen. Rain in the forecast?
Who knows? A lot of things have happened tonight, and a lot of things could still happen. We still got 14 to go. It's still not all done yet. As we've seen a lot of times in real life and even in the sim, it's not over until the checker flag's out.
I just want to point out that Thomas Bressi, I think, is putting down some of the best times right now. He ran a 27.5 last lap. Pastorius ran a flat 28.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Obviously, Bressi with fresher tires and these guys putting down some decent times, but
only 3 tenths faster still.
It's something.
Oh yeah, that's one way to put it. I think he just passed Debaro, maybe.
Yeah, some 2 laps ago. Now, Bressi's 41 laps down. And Debaro 43 laps down. So I guess mission accomplished.
Yeah, sure, it's a win in his head. He's probably still fuming, either with the most likely Debaro, but probably a little bit himself as well.
Everyone's kind of expanded out to a point where probably not going to see a caution unless some slower lap traffic with engine damage gets into the way, but those guys have been doing a good job of staying out of people's way. Not a whole lot of guys close unless we see someone really make a mistake, go over driving.
Really not much overdriving happening. Loose here and there off mainly 4. It's another thing I forgot to say. I was about to say earlier. The main trouble spot, people have gotten loose out of 2, but the main trouble spot I've seen, almost everyone's almost losing their car out of turn 4.
Yeah.
It seems to be the main trouble spot. Probably just because it's just a little bit flat.
Yeah, I think that's really why, at least in 2, you know, the car kind of catches the banking, it pushes the car, and you get more downforce, more grip. I think with 2, with turn 4, it's so flat that, yeah, just a lot of guys, when they put the power down, especially, I guess, with this tire, too, it's probably making it worse than they think. Cars just stepping out, and you really got to control it.
Yeah, just really no one's figured it out. The only one who had to figure it out was Debaro, because he just was not really getting loose off the turns. Even when Ward and Bressi were battling, Ward just kept almost spinning like every 5 laps or so trying to pass Bressi. Just seemed like to be really hard to figure out that turn.
8 laps to go now for the 19 of Hayden Pastorius. Well, we said it would take a lot to get himself into the playoffs. I mean, this is pretty much what I was talking about. He would have to win the race and hope that a lot of the other guys had trouble. Fortunately, I still don't think it's going to be enough. They're going to finish 11, 12, and 13, which all things considered isn't that bad. When you put it in the context of a 22 car and field, yeah, that's still not the best, but yeah, just not going to be enough for the 19, unfortunately.
I'm sure Hayden wishes more people showed up, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how much the point penalties come into play with the L1s, L2s, L3s, but who knows who gets penalized in the Debaro Bressi fiasco, if anyone. I know they're not the main ones, but you never know what could happen. People have been gotten harsher penalties in this league so far. But.
Yeah, indeed. In fact, too, speaking of points penalties, Debaro got a pretty big penalty last season going into the playoffs, and you know he got put on the back foot. Going in, so we've seen some pretty big point penalties in the past to shake up stuff, and I wouldn't be too surprised if we do see one tonight after what's gone on. Although it could almost be ruled as a racing incident. Both incidents weren't that blatant, so I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. I have to see what the admins think of it.
Trying to see. So if Pastorius holds on for first, and Bressi's 12, and then you got to factor some bonus points in. He's obviously going to gain a big chunk.
Yeah, he's going to gain a big chunk, but, I mean, the guys that finished 10th, 11th, and 12th, they're going to get, the 11th, 12th, and 13th, they're going to get 44, 40, and 38 points just for finishing there.
Have to be a decent penalty, to say the least.
But I think, you know, for Pastorius, it'll be a personal victory for him, I think, even if he's going to be eliminated this race, at least to get a win before the season, and I think it's going to mean something to him as it comes out 3 laps to go this time.
Can't say it was really anything, can't say he could have done more, can't be really disappointed with himself tonight. He did everything pretty much he had to do.
Pretty much indeed. Kind of looking down, looks like Chandler's just catching back up to Lacatus a little bit. Lacatus is falling off the pace. Don't think it's going to be enough, though, to close this gap up in the next 2.5 laps.
Let's see. This top 5, man. What a race.
This top 10.
Yeah, even the top 10. 9th 2 down, 10th 5.
It is absolutely crazy.
Pretty much like 11 cars running, I think. Bressi's still running even. Which he is.
Yep, indeed. And out of the final turn, Hayden Pastorius is going to see the flag he's been wanting to see for the last 30 laps. White flag in the air for the 19.
Flagman doesn't care, though.
He does not care, indeed. Still have not fixed that.
He's missing a good race.
Indeed he is. It's definitely a crazy race, a lot of drama, a lot of things that went down. The order got turned upside down on its head, but when it was all said and done, it was the 19 of Hayden Pastorius that emerged through the smoke. And he's going to round turn 3, come out of turn 4, and see the checkered flag. Hayden Pastorius will win at ISM.
He wasn't fazed by any of the chaos going around him. He wasn't phased one bit.
Oh, Brian Chandler's going to wreck across the line. Castor is going to get 3rd place.
Oh my god, did Gene beat him as well?
Oh, he
beat him.
did!
She no
Wow!
fourth. Oh,
This is the race that keeps on giving.
oh my god. I couldn't. Oh my poor Shambless man.
Oh man, oh man. Oh, we gotta take a look at that actually before we do.
The last, he just, you know what he saw? Right in front of him, Lakatos pounded the wall and he followed him into it.
Before we take a look at that, we're gonna look at Hayden Pastorius do some burnouts because I'm sure he's gonna be a happy driver here. As he's gonna light it up.
He knows how to do them burnouts.
Yeah, he does. Wow.
Let's see some tire blowout.
I
Forgot
don't know.
to think about that.
Let's see if he puts up against the wall and just lights it up. That might blow it out. We'll see here. Looks like he's just stopped for now. As we do that, we'll look at your race results real quick, because, oh boy.
Listening to Brian Chambliss putting in a protest for fourth. He said his back end got in front of.
You can see
the
there,
line.
your top 5, Pastorius, Lakatos, Caster, Sheen, and Chambliss. Chambliss losing out by only a few hundredths of a second. And then you see a lot of the guys that you would expect to see in the top 10, like Ward, Bressi, Debaro, Thompson, Buchanan, Welker even, all finished outside the top 10 and almost in 20th. And you can see rounding out the end of the field there, Fambro and Hensley, 21st and 22nd. Right,
You might not see like a race turned upside down like that in a while.
Engine blew.
There goes the motor. Engine still goes before the tires, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, indeed. Well, on that note, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some interviews, and stay tuned because we're interviewing quite a few guys we don't usually talk to. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back with your fifth place finisher, Brian Chambliss. And Brian was looking, with most of your competitors getting taken out and those few cautions around halfway, you had essentially walked away with this race. And just kind of walk us through how the last half of the race went for you, because it was really interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I knew I didn't really have the car to win there, and I just after we came through those green flag pit stops, and then that caution came out after a couple people had cycled through, and I was like, man, I only got 4 laps on this the new tire model. I was like, you know what, I don't have anything to lose here. I'm not racing for a championship. Let's go ahead and stay out, and it's worked out well. At least it got me kept me out of the mess that happened there. Those 2 quick cautions afterwards, but Hayden, I think, was just too fast there, and I was really the sitting duck with little older tires, and him just being a little better than me.
Yeah, with coming back to the finish there, just kind of walk us through what happened on the final lap. You're running in third and looking like you're going to get a solid third place finish, and then you end up hitting the wall.
Yeah, just a plain old brain fart. I saw Casey get loose in front of me, and then next thing you know, if you're paying attention to the other car and not driving yours, you end up following them. It's kind of one of those things. Is your cars go where your eyes go, and that's what happened. And I didn't save it there. However, I think I am going to have to file a protest or something, because if you look at the replay, I finished in front of Liam there. Granted, it's backwards, but I'm in front of him by about
Got
half a
my
car.
Got
So
my vote.
yeah, but either way, it's all in all good night. Showed some speed, and um, I mean, it's pretty fortunate that what happened there, at least to help me finish, that those guys were taken out. But those guys were definitely the class of the field. I don't know how that plays out in the playoffs for them guys, but it kind of sucks. But I mean, I'm just here to have some fun. I'm not in the championship run anymore, so I mean, I'm gonna make some different calls and go out there and do what I need to do to try to win the race.
All right, well, that was your fifth place finisher, Brian Chambliss. Brian, thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, thanks guys. You guys do a great job.
All right, moving on to our fourth place finisher, Liam Sheen. And Liam, how about that? Nice solid top five for today. Did you expect that going to tonight?
Not at all. I am absolutely awful at this track, and I guess with this new tire model, it really closed the gap for me. And to finish fourth, I didn't think that was going to happen. Really cooked the tires on that restart. They're trying to hang with Lakatos and the other two, Pastorius and Chambliss. It's really difficult to try to get all of that at once there. I didn't think I was going to be in the mix for a potential win at the end, but yeah, yeah, I didn't think I was going to finish that well.
Yeah, and also I was heard in the chat, and also see it posted in Discord. If you want to tell everyone at home I guess I wouldn't say bet, or I guess the deal you made with Hayden Pistorius if he won the race.
Yeah. Before the race, I said $10 if you win, or if you get in, you get $10, and he won. So there he goes.
Yep, indeed, won the race. So it was a great job for him. When the whole deal went down at around halfway, and we saw a lot of the people drop out. Did you think that you had a shot at the win, considering a lot of those guys dropped out?
Well, I mean, potentially. I mean, if we got another caution there, like right away. I mean, they had the better tires, but I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really sure on how good my speed was compared to them. I was reeling in the zero, but he got knocked out, unfortunately, from that whole deal with Debaro and stuff. But I didn't know how my speed was relative to them, so I was just gonna just push my hardest and see what I could do there. But yeah, I I didn't think I may be a little bit off. Yeah.
All right, well, that was Liam Machine, your fourth place finisher. Thank you, Liam, for talking to us, and we'll see you next race.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right, next on the list is Derek Castor. And how about that, Derek? Nice, solid third place finish for you. Just kind of walk us through how your race went from your point of view.
Well, I kind of short pitted like way early just because I was killing my tires. I'm not quite familiar with the new tire model yet. I think a lot of us are still trying to learn that. So I burned them off and came in early and got one of my laps back, and then the cycle started, and then all of a sudden I'm back on the lead lap, and the caution comes out, and now I'm right back in the heat of everything, and then I just avoided all the trouble there, the madness for a while, got lucky and stayed out of trouble and just fought up there, and I floored it out of 4 coming to the checkered because I saw the other guy wrecked, and I was like, I'm just gonna send it, see if I can cross the line, and sure enough, I did. So I got a third. I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah, did you think that after all the stuff that happened at around halfway, did you think that your chances elevated for getting a win? Did you think you had a car good enough to?
I think maybe on like a really really short run, I might have had the car for it, but the way I was running the car, I was just tearing up the tires so quickly that I probably wouldn't have with the long run that we had. But it was nice to be up there with the leaders and it felt competitive.
All right, well, that was your third place finisher, Derek Castor. Derek, thank you for talking to us, and we'll see you next race.
Yeah, thanks guys.
All right, moving on to our second place finisher. It's Casey Lakatis in the 50 car. And Casey, you had a really great run. Some strategy helped you get up into towards the front of the field, and you're actually able to avoid a lot of the carnage that could have taken you out if you been further back. So just kind of walk us through how the second half of your race went, and you trying to chase down the leaders.
Well, I really like this new tire model. Let me tell you that right off the bat. It is fun here, and then 1.5 mile. I know we did a couple fun races, and we're up in the top 5 once again. So I'm hopeful moving forward that this provides some good runs for the 50 team. Well, I don't know what happened. I think I pinched Jeff Ward down, and I want to apologize to him because I'm not trying to take him out of the race. And we were 3 wide with Bressi up there, so just trying to, we have to conserve these tires, and didn't do a good job of that. So I think we could have been a little closer running up there with Hayden, but he was a rocket. He was really good at conserving and moving forward. So Shamlis made a couple mistakes, and him and I were chatting about it. And he was also out there, but I think Hayden would have had either way would have had that. He just very good at conserving. Definitely saw a learning curve though for our team. But like I said, we're starting out strong with this new package. So hopeful to move forward and do good. And we avoided a couple good ones. We cut low on Bressi and Debaro getting into it, which I did not think was going to happen. That scared me. I was like, man, that was about as close as I want to cut it. And then not getting into a bigger wreck after I looped it with Ward.
Yeah, and so did you think that, did you actually, gotta ask you, did you get a lot of damage from what happened to you with Ward, or was it just a scrape?
No, I mean, the most amount of damage was actually Brandon Key came by and whacked the center of the car, which ended up only for 25 seconds. So it was not bad. They just pulled it back out, got back out there. The car didn't feel off by any means. Like I said, the car has a lot of drive off, which is good because you can get the right rear heated up and slide it around. I mean, first caution of the race was on cold tires, but it's fun to drive it loose like this. It's a little bit of dirt tracking, but you can also burn your right front up if you're driving it in too hard.
All right, well, that was your second place finisher, Casey Lacoste. Casey, thank you for talking to us, and we'll see you next race.
Yep, see you guys later. Have a nice evening.
You too.
Thanks.
And last but certainly not least is our race winner, Hayden Pastorius. And Hayden, man, you finally got it done. I honestly, with the pace you've had this season, you had some pretty solid pace in that 19 machine. I thought it was only really a matter of time before we see you get a win. And under these crazy circumstances, you got it done.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be here. ISM's one of my worst racetracks, but I definitely do have to thank Bressi, Jeff, and Anthony for all taking themselves out. I couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, I know that really did turn the race on its head. We saw you got into a wall a few times. Did any of that damage kind of affect you at all throughout the run, or?
I must be thinking of my teammate because I think he slapped the wall a few times. I don't think I touched the wall once, except for when I hit Brian. It's the only damage I really had.
Yeah, and speaking of Brian, we saw you were trying to chase him down in the later part of that run before we got to the finish. And what was going through your mind when you're running in behind him?
Not much, really. I was just I was just nervous and I didn't know what to think. Like a lot was going through my head, and it's just how I was going to get past him, if he was going to, how much of a fight he was going to put up. And after we made contact there, my car got really tight, and I got really nervous that Casey was going to be able to catch me.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, let me think of what I was saying. Fortunately, he didn't catch you because you were able to win this race. Thank you for talking to us, Hayden. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, well, that'll wrap up interviews for tonight. We'll take another look at your final results again. It definitely was indeed crazy, and actually, before we go, I will pull up on stream what happened at the finish with Chambliss and Liam at the line. But yeah, just what a crazy end of this race.
It's just complete opposite of what anyone was expecting to happen after the first half of the race. Everything's going calm. The one yellow, Debaro dominating, running away with it. You have the yellow right after green flag pit stops. Some strategy comes into play. Couple front runners out, then another restart, and the main front runners out is then Debaro, the guy who dominated the whole race, out of the race. And then that's when the upside down started with Sheen, Caster, Licatus all got up there. Chambliss we thought we saw the best strategy of the year. Really, he was able to get the lead, pull away for a little bit, but Hayden Pastorius had an iron grip on this one. He wasn't letting this one get away. He was going to do everything he could to at least try to get into the fuel finals. Whether it was a lost cause or not, doesn't matter. He got the win. He did whatever he had to do to win, and it proved to be just a really outstanding race in ways.
Yeah, I'm gonna just find it here, trying to get finish. This away. Alright, here's a look at how the finish went down for Brian Chambliss. See him coming off at turn 4. Licatus got on the wall, just gonna scrape by, get into the inside wall, and at the line. He's trying to reverse it. Liam Sheen beat him to the line. Now, the front of this car there's some debate as
beat
to.
him to the line in quotes. Let's get that straight. Well, there might be a protest. We'll see.
Yeah, there might be one. Usually they've gone to the side of going with iRacing's official scoring, and in the case of Andrew Wood and John Poole at Auto Club. You see Derek Caster coming by, obviously no commotion there. But as you see Chambliss start to back up, and you'll begin to see Liam Sheen approaching to the frame. So Brian Chambliss' car is actually across the line, the back part of it is, and then Sheen comes across, and then the front of Brian Chambliss' car comes across. So I'm gonna assume that it goes by the front of the car. iRacing does at least, but that's just me. I thought it goes by any part of the car that touches, but I don't officially know how this works. So with that, that'll wrap up the broadcast of the ISM race here at in the Fuel Cup Series. Don't go anywhere though, at least for the series, because next week we finish the season at Las Vegas, and boy, there's a lot of heated drivers going to next week.
It's mainly heated drivers in the fuel finals. Bressi and Debaro, who knows how they're going to race each other at Vegas, like I said earlier. And there's going to be some unknowns at Vegas as well with the tire model once again. And also, I believe you said there's going to be a day-to-night transition, which is going to be probably one of the first times probably any of those drivers have done that at Vegas. So it's a lot of popcorn's going to be made for the race next Tuesday.
Yep, indeed. And, so looking at our Fuels finals, with the two drivers eliminated, it's going to be Pastorius and Nick Kohan, who is not here tonight, didn't start this race, but the drivers who will be making it in, pull up the points graphic here, it's going to be Debaro, Martinez, Ward, and Bressi.
I feel like I saw Martinez. I was trying to do like quick math in my head earlier. I think, in a way, Pastorius was only like 20 points behind Martinez. I could obviously be wrong about that, but it was closer than we thought, I assume. A couple races went wrong in Martinez's way. Who knows what happened?
Yeah, who knows what could have happened. Indeed, it could have gone a different way. That would be nice if, Martinez could show up to race, but unfortunately he doesn't want to sometimes. So
we would have gotten a bad interview out of him anyways.
Oh, yeah.
We know what he would have said.
Yeah. I could have honestly just played a Kyle Busch interview and would have done the same thing. But on that note, we're going to end the broadcast here for tonight after a crazy race. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.